The Cure.
That's a fair answer. That's a fair answer.
Disintegration is an amazing album.
I don't
Good
know
call,
any
Lex.
golf bads.
You don't know any.
Evanescence?
No.
I think that was a good answer.
That's fine.
Evanescence at least goes well in frag movies.
Is Slipknot a golf band?
Yeah.
Is it? Not really.
I think I'll allow the answer.
I don't know what a golf
Slipknot-
band is. Honestly, I have no idea.
There's a lot of music about feelings, you know?
I listen to.
Evanescence.
I've got some friends who listen to a lot of emo music, for example, but I'm not one of them. I listen to a lot of things, including hardcore gangster rap. It's a bit of a distance from goth music.
Hey.
I think there are guitars in goth music. That's about it. I'm not made for this life. I'm not cut out for this kind of makeup.
You don't think gangster rappers are rapping about their feelings and their struggles in life the same way that...
No, they're lying about them.
Okay. Fair enough.
Everybody's the toughest dude on the planet, but no one can. Not everybody can be. You know, there's a pecking order.
Just wake me up inside, man. Okay?
Nice work. All right then. Big will start on the T side of DUST2, showing some presence towards short. They're trying to bait a response from Sprout. Could see some creeping around that short position. Slacks is behind the smoke grenade. The real push coming in towards B. Farvant doing well with the USP. They're still stuck in the choke point. Rings the bell at range, but doesn't quite get the kill.
Oh.
It's a great 180 from Tabson, and it keeps it competitive, moving away with the bomb now, or threatening to.
Yeah, Cressy's going to be pissed about that one. Almost just locked up and sealed the round away for Sprout. Instead, it's a 2v2. Tabson, low HP, moving up catwalk with his teammate. And he's going to take another tool, and he's going to get the better of Dennis. Speedy cleans it up, and now it's a one-on-one. Kita's going to be free to get this plant.
Impressive movement up towards short. Gave them minimal chance to respond. Quito now with the Glock. Does he play from the site itself? He's waiting. Speedy has a kit, so he'll be patient and wait for some time in case Quito tries any shenanigans. But he will have to creep with the Cayman USP. Quito just having a look every so often. He'll be aware of a potential play in the underpass, and he is rotating. Oh, God. He's not going to check a time, is he? Oh, he's just about seen it. Speedy had just half a chance there. My God, that was a tense one. But it goes the way of Big. Sprout will have to do things the hard way.
That's so painful. 2 different kills. Really should have been going the way of Sprout. Instead, Big, a very fortunate pistol round win. And Maui was highlighting Favin over there at the B side of the map. It's being one of the best in the world, playing on the CT side of it at least. Found the 2 openers, and it really seemed like Sprout was due to take this round away early, but we got blood in the water. Searson takes a tag from mid as the long play comes out from Big.
Yeah, Quito needs some support before that AK is lost. Charging around the smoke grenades, and there we go. Speedy's going to drop him, looking for a second one. Drops Antares, actually, excuse me. So rifles can be collected, but we can see that one of the scouts, both of the scouts have repositioned. There are 3 smoke grenades for Big, so that's not the largest concern.
Oh, overplay there from Slacks. You got 2 damaged players. You know, you can get the information, maybe try and re-peek at some point, but just a wide swing with no results except for pain. So now it's a 2-on-4, and Sprout, you know, it's probably not gonna try and even attempt to go for this. Maybe hang on to the weapons to the next round. See if you can maybe get an exit, but you know, despite the fact that 2 of the players are, you know, well and done in terms of HP on Big. You know, 1 shots for the scouts and not much for the Deagles to make work of. You just want to play this safe, see if you can get a freebie, maybe.
Well then, this was a force buy from Sprout. Force buys are popular once again in the second rounds. Slacks has left 700 bucks in the hole, so the AWP is on the way, but not just yet. We'll see if Favin can do something, if he holds on to this anyway. Maybe with the Kevlar he will. Hold on to the scout. And see if he can offer something to Big in the next round. But so far so good for Big. 16-8 for Train, 2-0 start on their pick of DUST2.
We were all kind of wondering whether or not this domestic matchup would lean one way or the other. But considering how comfortable Big look in a lot of these situations where Sprout's doing their darndest, but ultimately, you know, just getting outshot, trades are not going their way. Seems like Big maybe has already got the edge here. Of course, he already map pick was Sprout. First map was Train. Keto facing the heat over here at Long, but Tapson bails him out. Finding 2. Sprout already down to 3 players, and Slacks is lit.
Good start for Big. They've got control. They can abuse the range. Yes, there is the scout in play, but not much else, and it's not an AWP. Citizen will hunt. Warming up himself with a scout of his own. Dennis playing some shenanigans. There was a major where we saw a gimmick smoke in this position. I think Shox, I want to say Shox was using it. Maybe standing on the barrels there.
I've heard it referred to as the shock smoke, so yeah, I imagine so. Here it is.
There we go. Well, there's a variation of it. Looking on the side. So let's see how long he survives for then, Dennis. A little pre-fire in his direction, and Xantares will deal with him. The problem with the smoke is it doesn't really make sense for the smoke to exist there, so any professional will be aware that someone's probably behind it and spray it. Now, if you have a numbers advantage and like there's time pressure, then it becomes more powerful because there are so many things for a team to worry about that, again, you can... I want to say that you can capitalize on the anarchy, but interestingly, there was a thread made about me using the word anarchy, which I think is pretty interesting. You know, I don't bring things up from like a position of saltiness. So just very quickly, titled, "Can you please stop misusing the word anarchy?" The caster James unfortunately misused the word twice so far on Train, Sprout versus Big. It's triggering me a bit. He's using it for chaos and disorder as a word, even that anarchy means without a ruler. So that guy, in short, says...
We found the one anarchist in chat, basically.
Basically, yeah. The issue is that it's being used as propaganda to undermine the legitimacy of anarchism as a way of living.
Well, good for him, man.
Yeah.
Be passionate about something.
I think it's cool because it started a conversation. So if you've got opinions on anarchy, nice opinions, you know, it's okay to disagree in a friendly fashion, then go and say hello to that chap in the Reddit threads. But for now, it is the first buy round for both squads. We see 5 scopes for Sprout, 4 Augs and the AWP in the hands of Slacks. Galil's AKs and the AWP for Searson. So he's upgraded from his scout. There's a pop flash for the mid doors in an instant. Very well-timed response from Speedy.
4 Augs for Sprout. Love to see that. 5 scoped weapons across the board. DUST2 traditional long-range fights. And this is almost definitely going to be a cat play. Maybe you see them back down into mid-B, depending on the reaction from Sprout here. But Big just biding their time. Any moment now it'll come out.
A 3-man hold of the A bomb site if you include Cressy on long. We'll see how long he stays towards long for, considering no one's there. Doesn't know that, of course. Speedy now looking to abuse these smoke grenades, but Tapson spots him first. There will be a trade, but now Slacks has got problems, and Cressy has decisions to make. He can throw one flashbang behind his teammate, which he just deployed. That will delay the push somewhat, and maybe Slacks has a chance, but where does rotation come from? Cressy still wondering about the long position. It could be a lurk, and he just doesn't know. Dennis on the high ground again, the low ground rather. Flashbang is behind his teammate, but he still can't find an angle. Citizen looking down below, can't quite land the flick though. Dennis will delete. 1 versus 3 now, actually. Xantares is alone, trying to avoid the double pick, which is on the way, and that is quite a collection of dinks. Sprout survive with 3 players alive. They'll collect an AWP. We'll see if they hold on to the Augs. That was quite the battle there. Difficult position for Sprout, but they survive.
That was such a weird situation. Sprout basically fumbled the bag over there towards elbow. You saw Speedy take a duel, trying to abuse the one-way. So many players, you know, once you see that first... you know, rail smoke get deployed, the one-way maybe comes out. You know, I've seen a lot of different teams try and challenge that angle. You know, sometimes maybe you see a 2 or a 3K come out of it if you're able to support him with flashes. But he doesn't. He gets a dink out and he falls immediately. And then Slacks basically just gets isolated at a ramp. He gets taken care of in time. But it really was those Augs that, you know, we mentioned earlier on in the round that just bailed out Sprout, just basically winning gunfights across the board to claw their way back into the round, and they'll get there first.
Yeah, that was a really good test for Sprout. The flashbang certainly helped. Flashbang support very key on the A bomb site. As I like to often say, it's often the AWP by the car who's offering flashes for, say, the player in a pit and so on. But it definitely helped slow the push just enough. Thompson on a Krieg once again. We saw it on a train. With not much impact, and perhaps there'll be more on this occasion. Big, the masters of grenades. How about that for a pop flash?
The legacy of God B.
So we see that short has been taken, and Big look to make inroads towards long, which has 2 players now. So Big will offer some grenades on short to try and pull players away from long to make that weaker. We can see there were 2 now. The AWP was posted up quite well, but now the Cressy is alone in the pit. So that's worked well for Big, but they haven't won that first duel. Farven having to reposition. Long has been held by Sprout. So they've got something for the retake here. They've got a man advantage still as well. A good effort from Big, but Sprout have got the better of them in that part. The bomb has been planted for short, though. We can see presence now in the mid position. Xantaro's got to be careful. Has to wait for this molly to go, though. Will there be any flashbangs for it? There might be. 2-man line up, and they will progress. Cressy now 1 versus 3 with the AUG. Gets the first one, but he can't finish off at Xantaro's as well. Great trade fragging scenario for Big. Didn't need to trade frag in the first engagement, but Xantaro's was ready for the seconds.
Yeah, identical rounds from Big back-to-back, just cat control into an A execute. And both times, the operas from Sprout have just been absolutely neutralized, just blind throughout, just getting owned at these angles where, you know, you typically see 1, maybe 2 kills, even if you're not necessarily in a power position, maybe get flashed off the angle.
Oh!
Okay.
Oh, you love to see this one. The scout holding things down as there's a rush up top mids. And they still haven't realized this just yet. There are blind spots to be dealt with, but the AKs are here, and it will be a shooting gallery. An execution at top mid.
And
that is a fun strat.
Are getting farmed. Xantaro's with his scythe out, just making sure that nothing else sprouts. Favin just finding that first kill was so cool, but you know, this was very quickly turned around. But back to what I was saying, man, it is actually a little worrying to me that Sprout is just not able to produce with those ops. You know, if you're going to invest into 2, or I guess they maybe picked up that first one, but
I think Big have done a good job of making things as difficult as possible on the A-bomb site. Again, just trying to pull him out of position. They have been stuck, so I do wonder if this will cause Sprout to be more aggressive towards short, for example, because that has been the cause of a lot of their issues. So I do wonder if they will try to stop Big taking it. Not something they can expect to do every round, but got to mix things up here and there.
yeah, I've seen a few different teams on DUST2 in this past week alone, using a lot of that, you know, the empty space that the T's leave when they take long, or I guess in this case, catwalk. You know, just being willing to, okay, fight on the other extremities of the map, maybe get aggressive towards long doors. But if you're going to try and neutralize the cat control itself, like that's got to be done at mid. A couple pop flashes over, some coordinated attacks from the CTs, maybe an early cat boost. You know, just in a way to disrupt really the free cat control that Big's just kind of getting for free.
2 AWPs. Let's see if there'll be a short play on this occasion. Looks like they're heading towards long. No short boost on this juncture. Oh, no, they are rotating around Sprout with 2 men. So we are going to see that short aggression having given up long. And maybe this has been read by Big, who charge into long again immediately. Tabson using that range with the Krieg. So this is a must-hold now for Sprout, missing the first shot. They're lining up for Spitty, though. Manages to get 2 out of it, and Searson has to hold her. He's got the bomb. We see the charge to the bomb sites in the meantime. Running out of positions to stand Sprout on this A bomb site. They'll lose 2. Somehow Cressy alive with 9 HP. 3 versus 3. I'm sure they want to go for this. Maybe the worst possible plan has been executed by Big as far as Sprout are concerned. Maybe a pop flash play, perhaps a boost behind the smoke. You can see Tizian hiding at the car. Can shoot through those windows. So he has to be real careful. Searson spots the creep through the smoke. Support here from Tabson, Tizian rather. And the transfer as well, and Sprout are deleted once again.
And so Sprout attempting to hold on to some cat control in that round, and Big immediately gets the read, takes long control, and like you said, Tabson towards pit, just swinging out with full confidence that nobody's home. Finds the first with the Krieg towards a site. And then it's just a matter of wrapping things up. Sprout isolated over at Catwalk. We saw Slacks trying to fall back. Immediately gets clapped in the back of the dome. He's 1-7, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. If Sprout's offers are not able to produce at all in any of these situations, that was just off of a whiff over at Catwalk. You can't ever hit every shot, but those are the ones that count.
That is quite the timing from Speedy. Tizian is holding, though. He knows all these sound cues are heading elsewhere. How far does he go? We've got a 3-man investment from Sprout on long, where there aren't really intentions from Big. Starting to creep now. I can see on the radar, and Speedy will be deleted. Big don't really leave much opportunity for you. Trying to limit their mistakes. A lot of junk being thrown. I love the flashbangs towards long as well. So if you're holding that off angle, that's also going to be hard for you. This smoke, though, could be a problem. Zantara's creeping around it with the bomb. He has a minute on the clock and plenty of help. The short plant being executed. Dennis looking for something. That wasn't what he was looking for. This is an eco round from Sprout. Faven still wondering if he's being contained from the outside. And the answer is yes. Tizian is top mid. From where Tizian is on the radar, by the way, you can throw a jump throw smoke into CT spawn to cover the cross for your teammates on long.
Today I learned.
Grenade trivia for you.
Favin's got to be bored, man. I mean, Big clearly understand, you know. Nice shot. Nice shots. Give me one more. NT.
Well, technically that was one more.
True. But Big is ultimately just avoiding mid doors, avoiding B entirely. And that's not without good reason. I mean, Sprout being very deliberate and telegraphed in where they're playing on the CT side. You hear the nade cues, the sound cues coming out. You have a general idea of where people could be. Of course, you can mask that. You can play behind it in alternate ways. But Big have basically been batting 1,000 in this half of just correct reads, correct responses out of it. And now, as I say that they've completely ignored B, as if they heard me just testing it just for a bit, but the smoke comes out, cancels the push. Now Tizian looks for space at mid. Speedy shuts him down.
CT side of DUST2 can often be difficult in pro matches and in general. And it certainly looks difficult here. Sound cut from Big. So dangerous to peek this angle from a CT perspective. But putting the smoke down on the flash will certainly help, and we can see Speedy moves into a more forward position. He's got a very clean Jade Org there. Big just completely cutting noise. What do they make of this Sprout? It's a different look from Big. They're offering some space creation towards the mid position. Pop flash for Xantares as he has a look, but Speedy's still over the smoke to some degree. Hops down quietly as Xantares continues to press on. 35 seconds. This is a very nervous round from Sprout. Starting to execute now, but it's a 3 versus 5 as Xantares has dropped Keto on the low ground, swinging, trying to take the orb off guard, but there's too many angles to look, too many man on road. We may not see a bomb plant from Big in this one. All the plays for Sprout survive. There are still 8 rounds to win for Sprout in this half, so while it looks terrible right now, if they win the next one and put Big on eco, things could become very interesting indeed.
Yep. Nice flawless victory to get things started for Sprout, and ultimately that just was an entire round of Big trying to be too cute. You know, maybe your initial presence towards B drew that first rotator, but as soon as they know you're not on catwalk, you're not at long, you know, you can lean that CT spawn player more towards the double doors. And despite Xantares' fantastic lurk at the CT spawn, that just did not pan out. And now we have a long battle. Already into pit is 1. Speedy cleans him up. Cressy grabs the second, and so this is the first time Sprout have actually won this long duel. First time they've actually really contested it hard against multiple players. And so big react by taking catwalk and given the space that they've been allotted by Sprout. You know, they're considering it contained for now. No over rotations, not a lot of movement out of the CTs. Knowing it's a 5-on-3, they have the advantage in this frag grenade. Not quite.
This is such an important round for Sprout. This is the round where they build. Searson in the Jame angle. Very strong spot to catch rotations in either direction. A lot of grenades being offered. They would love to have somebody cross those middle doors. Citizen still creeping now as Antares makes his way to the site. Doesn't know what the climate is on the A bomb site. We can see Spiddy creeping. Down he goes. Citizen's position is going to be crucial now. Farvin is still on the B bomb site, so Citizen has to be careful, trying to find some impact, but that smoke is really causing him some problems, just not being offered the angles he's looking for. Still alive for now. Zantares has a 3-man swing coming his way. Does Citizen really want to potentially try to clutch this entire round out? 3 more to find. He knows one's behind him. Looks like he's opting for the save, running away, and he may be chased by Farvin.
Earlier on in the round. Legged by Favin over there towards B window. So now for Sprout, grabbing that round, that's pretty big. Searson's able to save the AWP, so they may get another buy round here. But this is looking good for Sprout considering how most of this half has gone.
Yeah, this is a massive opportunity. Well, hold on a second. There's still a buy to be had here for Big.
Yeah. It's not going to be the most healthy buy, but it'll be enough. The question is, though, do you even try for it? I mean, obviously you save the AWP, so that is an incentive to make the answer there yes. You know, you do go ahead and buy, but despite that fact, you know, you're going to need to invest a lot of nades. So, yeah, they're just going to grab some deagles and get the utility they need to make this round competitive and maybe get an A execute into it. And, you know, we haven't actually seen how Sprout will like to play anti-ecos, but if they're going to be playing a standard setup and Big know this, it'd be really interesting to see what strat they decide to call here as an early mid play. Look at Searson, he's all the way down to double doors, but Keto's going to find the better of Speedy. And so a really early mid presence out of Big. We have not seen that yet in this game. And I was going to say it's going to draw some rotations, but Slacks is wise to it. Already posted on A ramp towards Cat. Missing another shot, man.
There's distraction being run for Slacks, but he finds enough of Searson to get a kill. Look at the madness of this push from Big. 2 deagles in the AWP for Zantares will continue. Cressy holding on to Long again, but they've lost the bomb sites in the meantime. Double orbs to hold now. Who plants the bomb? They've both got snipers. Seems that Tizian will post up. Hold on a second. He's exposed himself to Dennis. Zantares needing 3 now. Zantares with an AWP. Well, the no-scope is a great way to start. 1 on Long will be enough. Cressy with the headshot. He's ready for the 4th round from Sprout. That was a dangerous round from Big. The bomb plant is essential. There's more aggression to come from them, but that's another round in the bag for Sprout.
Yeah, honestly, that is really, I mean, Slacks throughout this series, and I hate to highlight a negative several times now, but he just doesn't look comfortable to me, which, considering that's one of the biggest positives that I would say Sprout has been able to demonstrate in their series against FaZe the other day. You know, really standout performance from him that really turned the tide in the favor of Sprout. You know, my eyes are on him, you know, throughout this series, and as this map comes to a close, whether or not he can regain some of his comfort and confidence, because it's easy shots that he's not connecting with, and that's uncharacteristic of what I've seen out of him so far. So the continuation of the double op from Sprout, you know, chiming in a bit has been Favin throughout the game, but it's been really quiet over here towards B. Big hasn't really even been willing to test it a whole lot. We'll see whether or not this early upper B presence will yield something like that. But the bomb's already kind of unsure about where the play is going to end in this round. A very slow standard DUST2 default from Big. Taps will bring the bomb around through T-spawn back towards A. And there's actually, for the first time from Sprout, this is what I want to see. This, yes. Just, okay, we have no info anywhere. Let's post an op somewhere aggressive. And this long doors situation for Big is going to get so weird so fast.
Shadow advantage. Oh, the bait works out perfectly. Or does it? 4v4 is to Big's advantage. And now how do you hold on to A and Long at the same time? They have conceded position. Slacks is stuck at Long with the AWP. Grenades being avoided in CT. Smoke up to create some space, and that'll also allow Slacks to focus on Long. Dennis just gets deleted. Tizian has the hammer, and he's ready for another one. Burst onto Farvin. How much money do Sprout want to throw into this one? Smoke has been put up, and Speedy will go around it. He's been baited into that by Tizian.
It's honestly remarkable to me that this double long setup, you know, if Slacks is able to connect on the first shot, you know, his situation becomes much more positive because he's able to fall back. Even if, you know, Speedy gets traded, or sorry, Cressy gets traded out immediately, no big deal. But Big just recognizes right away, okay, there's no operette car right now. We need to fly up catwalk and take A, and it's just, you know, off to the races for all 5 players from Big. And, you know, Sprout has been recovering a bit in the past 4 rounds to kind of get a bead on what Big wants to do. You know, not really necessarily conceding a lot of what their setups are going to be like, but right there just announcing your presence with the op. It's pretty much wraps at that point. Your teammates are all out of position at mid and B. So 8-4, a big round for Big.
Yeah. Lost a lot of weapons towards the end of that round. Spitty down to the Desert Eagle now.
A large round for Big.
Again, got to be really careful when you're close to the edge of a smoke. So let's see what they can do with 4 rifles now. Big have been allowed to set the pace, and again, of late, it hasn't been the most successful. MP9 on long. So the purpose of that Molotov is to clear any position behind the door. Tabson for now will hold the angle with the bomb in tow. I don't know if he's just saw Cressy cross. I mean, he didn't shoot, so I'm assuming not.
He doesn't seem to be aware of it.
So Cressy has an option now, because Sprout appeared to think that the left side of the door is clear.
I think Keto will still hard clear this regardless, so Cressy's just got to get his move on as soon as the flash comes out. There it is, but he's full blind. Nice.
Beautiful.
Ooh.
Slacks is in trouble now. He's got to fall off, which means the A site's completely compromised. Big have short and long. Spiddy stuck in the corner, peeks out, trying to do what he can. You can see it's a desperate situation there, trying to make something happen for the squad, and it may be safe territory for Sprout. They've got no money, they've got no position, and there are 2 more rounds to play for, so they have to give up on the current situation.
Yeah. All right, Slacks, there you go, man. Would like to see, I mean, Sprout, you know, these initial engagements either at catwalk, long doors, even from car towards elbow, just have not gotten the better end of the engagements. A lot of times you either flashed off, maybe you have to give some ground. But seeing, you know, 1 or 2 missed shots from Sprout, that is the measure, the difference in a round win and loss on here on DUST2 when the rotations are so far and away, and it's not as though you can just simply walk into the A site and retake it from B with 3 players when there's 5 players from Big alive. So Sprout, it's the 2nd or 3rd time in this game where, you know, 1 player dies and it's already pretty much curtains for any kind of a CT side round win. 2 in a row for Big, and you still don't have much money on the side of Sprout, but you did keep those weapons into this round, so I'm sure they're going to invest something into here, just a couple deagles. But, you know, an early 5v4 advantage has not been a luxury for Sprout in this game. Finally, Slacks delivers Xantares, who's having a hot series so far.
Ooh, how does he escape, Farben? 41 HP, and out he goes. Quick boost towards short. They've lost long. They've got to have something, especially with such limited weaponry. Got to have something to show for this. Dennis could pop out as Speedy did for a potential double peek on this occasion. Smokes, though, will change that. Farben's got no grenades to offer. Could see Dennis is lining one up, maybe to go off behind Farben when he peeks. And now Cressy's made his way up towards short of the AWP, forced away by the Molotov though. Big will know that they haven't cleared that Gandalf position just yet. Could see the attempt from Farben now. He will delay the bomb plants at the very least. And suddenly we find ourselves in a 3-on-3. Everybody's got a rifle. Cressy still on short with the AWP, delivering, but there will be trades. And there's Tabston with the Krieg. Spiddy now in a 1 versus 2. Bomb can be planted for long. You can see that one from the platform, no problem. Tabson can peek an off angle every so often. Doesn't need to peek the main point of engagement. There he is. Spiddy went for the tap, and Searson's here to put him out of his misery. 10 rounds on the board on the T side for Big. The score could be worse for Sprout, to be honest, on the CT side. The pistol will be very important. We'll see if they can get a 5th round on the board, though.
Yeah, one taps in there, putting the Krieg to work. And this, oh my goodness, that's so fun to watch. And there was some hope in that round. I mean, I believe that was Favin preventing the bomb plant, buying some time for the rotations to come in. And that's what this team has needed throughout this entire half, is an A-side presence op that's going to find the 5v4, and here it is. You know, maybe a little...
Oops.
Betrayal at long. But a 5v4 advantage, that's nice for Sprout, and maybe it is a little too late now in the half. You're at 10-4. You know, you want to get this fifth, of course, but seems the adjustments maybe coming a little too late in the game. Could mean big cruise to a 2-0 victory over Sprout here on DUST2, but still some work left to be done. Slacks here will be tested at Catwalk, who has got to face this run boost, and, you know, no fault of his there for missing that one. That's a tough shot to hit. You're impossible one, if you ask me. Some damage being exchanged from Tabson over there from Catwalk, and so Big have reestablished Catwalk control and are poised to execute if they so choose.
Yeah, they can still deploy some flashbangs towards that long position again, bring the angle away from the AWPs. They'll do it for Favin, but not for Slacks, who does deliver. 3 remaining now for Big as they head towards the B bomb site. You can see that smoke has multiple uses. Oh, they're really going to rotate towards A? Into the AWPs with the numbers game. Oh, the B peekers coming. We've got smokes all over the shop. Xantara's in a 1 versus 3, 29 seconds. As he goes higher, he may be seen over that smoke, but Slacks will get that final kill to allow Sprout to have a 5th round on their CT side of DUST2. Is there anything left in the tank? Find out after the break. Do you believe, Lex? Do you believe?
Ask me after this pistol, because Sprout hasn't won a single pistol round all day. And you know what? I guess the answer is no, James, I don't believe, but there's always a chance.
The P250 raid boss is here. His name is Dennis. No connection to the name on my AKs, as I sometimes get asked. He's looking towards B, but first there'll be a swing and a hit from Slacks. Tabson will enact revenge for his team. Big have mainly focused towards the B bomb site here. They are expecting it. I can see grenades start to rain in. Keto got to be careful. 2-man on road to punish him because Xantaro's moving through now. There's flashbangs for the CTs as well. 2v2, Xantara starts to get low, 43 HP, but the bomb is committed to the bomb site, and so are Sprout. They're all lining up, and they've taken the pistol, Lex.
There it is, James. They did it. 10-6, Sprout on the board with a pistol round victory. Surely they don't get ecoed here, right? Nobody forces into this and takes round 2 away from Sprout, right? I don't know, I'm nervous. Mostly for my points and my predictions, but...
Who did you pick for this one?
I took Sprout.
Took Sprout.
Took the odds, figured, you know, big, probably the stronger team, but liked what I saw out of Sprout the other day against FaZe. And honestly, their map pools are, as our analysts put it, kind of favorable towards Sprout, the way the vetoes went, so...
Domestic matchups are always interesting.
Yeah.
But, and you can find unusualness in there, but for me, I feel like the strongest players in Germany should be on Big, not Sprout.
Agreed.
In theory. So they should win by default. Let's see what they can do. Sprout now on the comeback. 4 rounds behind at present. Tizian is blind. This is good to see how good Sprout are with the anti-eco setup. Anti-force buy setup. And so far, so good. A fake plant just in case. They'll take nothing for granted, Sprout. So the Keto and Tabson are elsewhere. Just playing for exits. So this is a really good start. We're going to have a reasonably close score once the buy rounds come through. And this is interestingly a full force buy from Big. In many of these CT force buys we see, the sniper will have $700 to $1,000 in the bank to always have that AWP for the first buy round. Not the case here for Big.
Yeah, don't seem worried about it. You do have a little bit of a round cushion, and you know this is DUST2. So if your scouts go to work, your deagles can find their mark at range. Not totally and wholly unlikely that you can come around with a round win on round 2, but Sprout with a flawless 5 alive situation here in round 17 means gonna have plenty of bank moving into the next one. And it's certainly gonna be an uphill climb. Try and get yourself 16 on the board, but there's been reason to believe that at least on Sprout, when they're confident and their T-sides are rolling, you know, I think about the FaZe series the other day where, you know, they went into T-side train not really in control of that map, but strung a lot of T-side rounds together. Came out with a dub. Starts here, but slacks at mid, spots the cross, doesn't see anything early. So maybe you're going to see some early tons presence. I don't know, but...
It's a nuisance smoke.
Yeah.
They don't know if anybody's there or not. So if Sprout have a plan, then they may be suddenly focused on this situation. And look at their layout. They are completely reacting to that smoke of Big at the moment. But then is there another plan behind this for Big? They appear to be trying to bait Sprout into the mid position. We can see anti-flashbangs, anti-flash positions being held.
Well, you just wait for the nade usage out of Sprout. If they go long, you just have 5 players in a flashbang. You can swing at it all at the same time, try and get some guns out early. If they go towards B, you're over here at mid doors already with a flashbang to retake into it. This is something that I think I call a lot of times in matchmaking on DUST2, but it's effective at every level of play.
1 minute on the clock. Keto has a flashbang, worth noting. It's starting to wonder now, Big, a number of players seen in the mid position, and Sprout's patience will pay off.
Into the meat grinder at double doors. Keto 1v5. You know, if you can get a kill or 2 here, it'd be fabulous, but Slack's doing his best to deny that.
I think Searson will have AWP, no Kevlar. Oh, you might have some Kevlar, actually. I think he has calculated it
You can get that light armor out.
better than I expected, which is fantastic. Well then, it begins. The real test begins. Sprout seems they're going to be continuing. Well, the money is together, I suppose. Oh, okay, no, never mind. For a second, it looked like Slax was going to continue with the scout, which I thought probably not going to be an ideal situation. But he did upgrade for the AWP, as has Sisson bought one. Thought he wouldn't quite make it there, but their abacus is more accurate than mine. A 3-2 set up from Big, nothing untoward there. We see some meaty grenades that Xantares will be on the receiving end of. And now the true test for Sprout begins. This is the pick of Big. Got a flashbang for short. Tabson is completely blind and executed. Not much he can do about that one.
That was a freebie. I get a 5-on-4, and for counter-terrorist side on DUST2, this is very uncomfortable, but it seems like Sprout, maybe they're trying to bait some utility out, or it's just going to be a straight-up A execute. I wonder, though, as these players over here at Xbox are not in position to trade any of this, so maybe just fishing for information here at Elbow.
They're certainly fishing. Searson just stopped scoping at the wrong time, and now Tizian's got so much to do. Playing an off angle, is he ready for a multi-frag? He's considering putting a grenade out there. He's actually got 2 from this. Now he's going to try and buy himself some time. Not quite the palm tree flash, but he's done some extra damage. He's actually made this competitive, but Dennis is in such a strong position that this will probably shut it down immediately. And leaves Xantares 1 versus 3 to slink away. First test pass with flying colors for Sprout as they move to 9.
Yeah, not feeling the clutch here, thank you, but that could have been a little bit more dangerous. I mean, maybe you get the trade on Dennis at doors, but, I mean, stuck over there at Goose, you don't really see a whole lot of multi-frags if your spacing's good and you actually flash that position off. But it was Speedy and Favin just kind of not really pushing that position together, and the hesitation from Favin cost him his life. But Sprout cleaned it up. They'll get their 9th. Torres will live. Oh, man, I feel like I was about to cast a curse him. He will live. Get an AK as well. And this is shaping up to be a competitive map here, James.
It is indeed. A cold start from Big, looking for their first round. It was the 4th round for the CTs when Sprout were defending. 4 rounds have passed and Big is still on a 0 for their second half. Despite Tizian's best efforts, Sprout had too much superior position. At trade from Cressy was important as well. So let's see now, Favin on 15 kills, as is Cressy. Top of the scoreboard are both.
Yeah, Cressy's a guy who flies under the radar for me a lot in this lineup, where a lot of times we see him either in solo positions, lurk spots. So the focus usually isn't on him, but he's consistently delivering for this side of Sprout. At least in the frag count. And sometimes on the impact in rounds. But 1 AK, some pistols here for Big, and that'll be all they really invest into this round.
What is Flex up to here? Hello? That's the bomb?
Oh.
That's an AWP. Well, that's some big information, but they are on only pistols, save for Xantares, who is now out of position. So quiet from Sprout. There are 2 flashes for Big, and they're both on this A bomb site, so this could be very interesting indeed. See some junk being thrown by Tabson as he looks to creep around these smoke grenades again as the bomb spotted. We've got a low ground rotation from Xantares now, needs to get onto the site in time. Actually jumped into the angle versus Sprout, but he's still alive. HGs will make his life a little worse though. The bomb's actually being planted now. Searson pops up. Xantares, the turret, looking for more. Some nice highlights there, but the round will go the way of Sprout.
Xantares is so scary at those headshot angles, and he knows it, right? He knows where his strengths lie. He's just waiting. His teammate makes a little bit of a distraction. That's all it takes. He's able to gain a little bit of space and almost gets a 3K lineup. Would have been devastating for Sprout. But some good layered utility usage really to prevent him from being willing to swing on that angle to begin with those flashbangs. So 5 straight for Sprout. This is a very strong half here. And, you know, considering this is Big's map pick, their T side was very effective, and you definitely can see that their game plan was a little reactive and certainly decisive when it needed to be against Sprout. But Big have not necessarily, and okay, we're going for some catwalk control here. We'll have to like wait and see as this half develops, like what answers do they have for what Sprout is throwing at them. And that is like the one thing that I still really love about DUST2 is you force teams to make reactions based on your own behavior, and there it is. The flash yields nothing. bears no fruit, and so this Searson push-it-upper is going to become so important if he can get one. Almost able to get the second, but Xantares will clean it up through the smoke, and now it's a 3-on-4, Big in the lead here.
I'm not sure if the bomb was spotted on the radar. I don't think he was deep enough to see it. So that's a question mark for Big. Sprout now, it's their turn to have a man disadvantage and try to turn things around, and that boost could be very strong indeed. We can see a cluster of Sprout players towards these mid doors, looking to re-smoke once again. But, oh, that molly actually, that could be the one. No, it's gone into the smoke, and that could be the curse. They are creeping over. There's some spray on the low ground from Tizian. But when does Keto come into action here? 30 seconds now, the bomb's been dropped, and Xantares will clean them all up, bleaching the floors outside B as Big take the lead once more.
Yeah, big 4-piece from Xantares to lead once more for Big, 11-10. And a solid game from him so far. Had a really strong performance on Train, delivering again here on DUST2. And that's the first round of the half for Sprout. And it, excuse me, for Big. And it starts really on that re-aggression towards Catwalk, just kind of sniffing out where Sprout are on the map. And Searson, you know, gets traded out immediately at upper B. But Dennis just exposing himself enough for Xantares' spray to connect, and it really canceled any advantage you got out of that round. And we'll see how Sprout like to adjust here. Just kind of reacting with another standard DUST2 default.
Like smoke. I was thinking I would do the same. Got to be careful now, Searson. Oh, the peak is coming. Oh, no. Oh, that timing is so unfortunate. Dennis played it all right until the end. Just didn't check again. A tag into Speedy. Look at the colossal damage through those mid doors. Speedy with 4 HP, and he's got to pick up the AWP because of this. There'll be a flashbang to take the peak angle as well. Doesn't fire the shots, and then there were 2. Suddenly, the momentum swing is quite violent in Big's favor. They have 500 HP, and there's 2 players left for Sprout.
I'm still reeling from that series of unfortunate events that just unfolded for Dennis. I mean, you play that really deep angle, you're really looking for exactly what Searson gave him, which is an opper or any player at all that's just going to creep out just far enough for you to catch an elbow or a knee coming around the corner. And unfortunately for him, the timing strike.
I think that kill changes so much.
Yeah.
If Dennis is on the better half of that. I think it dramatically changes the outcome of this round, potentially, at least. Big would have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you can fight for mid control. You get so many options by eliminating that player at upper B push. And instead, you basically, on the flip side of that, you yield so much map control and the man advantage.
Yeah, and then this damage through the smoke as well. Well, over the smoke for the first one, in fairness. Credit where it's due. And that gives Big another buy, essentially, with the loss bonus they would get if they were to lose this round. So a very great situation for them. Spiddy with a quick fish, but doesn't outstay his welcome. Sprout trying to be careful now. Calculated risk, but it seems they may reaggress.
This is actually a perfect counter call coming out from Big. Purely random, of course, but first time we've seen Sprout try and vie for some control over at long A. And the nades do come out, but immediately they get stonewalled just off the back of Big utility. And there's 4 players early on in this round towards long.
Oh my God.
Tizian's going to face them head on, just an ego challenge. Speedy will collect the trade, but Keto is here in the full bait. Oh man, does he get cleared? He does. And Searson's even there to back his teammates up, finding 2, and that's the prowess we expect out of him. The bomb is down as well. Dennis, who just went through a very traumatic round the round prior, is now in a 1v3s, and Xantares cleans it up. That's his 21st of the game.
That was a really interesting round. Again, maybe some domestic stuff going on there. 3 rounds for Big now, starting to warm up on their CT side of DUST2. They've put Sprouts onto Eco, so unless there is a screw up here from Big, then they should be 2 rounds away from a 2-0. Put themselves in a position to win, and they're really building money, which is also of note. Tizian and Keto are short, but the rest of them are not doing too shabby at all. Got that jump throw, car molly, and Searson will start the proceedings with a shot towards the car. You can molly that from the barrel, but of course it's an eco round, and there are no more grenades for Sprout. Some jump peeks to take an angle. There's a deep flashbang. He can peek with it. He will eat it, though. He actually doesn't have a lot of help here. He's been left completely alone, and they're closing in on his position, so maybe an error for Big. The bomb almost being left behind by accident from Sprout. Faven's going to pick it up, and that AWP has been dropped once again. There's a double peek now. Xantares moving through for yet more headshots. 22 for 14 is Xantares over towards the bomb site, causing some problems. Looking for 23. Faven just jiggling. There's a lot of bullets to run down. Tizian will steal that final frag. So indeed, Sprout not far behind Big, but Big are only 2 rounds away from the end of this series.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Searson over there at long. Misses the first shot. I guess he hits his first shot, but isn't able to grab the second. And then accidentally, you know, sometimes you peek into your own flashbang, that happens. And there's a world in which maybe Sprout's able to recover the op over at car. But when Xantares is on catwalk and he's got your number, he's certainly not going to back down from that challenge. Finds the kill on the slacks. So this is probably the most important round of the game so far for Sprout. Early mid-pressure. Flying down to Xbox is Speedy, and he's rewarded for his efforts. Keto will fall, and Searson for the 4th time in this.
Oh, run away!
Oh, just pushing up, and Slacks is able to bail out Dennis. Dennis again getting caught with a nade in his hands, and here's that gift, that potential, you know, generous.
Wait, what?
Tabs did not see him?
Is that a resolution thing? Maybe, perhaps.
I don't think so.
He must be playing on a CRT.
Maybe the player model just wasn't quite clear. Yeah, certainly a frustrating one, but that is the, you know, if everything goes wrong, then Big are suddenly in trouble. Well, that was it from start to finish. Just a few blunders give Sprout their 11th. And again, like, you just see Searson here creeping into upper B. I see Dennis whip out a flashbang, and all of the nightmares from the round prior are coming through my mind.
Double ups are out again for Big. Money running low. Again, we've got some aggression. Different look from Big, giving up long a little bit. Now, what is Tizian doing here? This is very high risk indeed. There would be flashes behind him to swing. You see so many players, but only good for one. That's not enough from Big Clan. Sent him in there alone. So many players spraying his direction. See Xantares being proactive in the meantime. Searson still alive for now by the car, but he needs help and he needs it fast. Tabson's on the way, but he's got no flashbang. Searson with a 3rd one. Oh my God, Searson still alive at the car. Dancing with Slacks, I think. It's actually Faven who's starting to creep up, and this one's getting out of hand. What? A completely messed up spray, and Xantares is running through the flames for a 1v1. Bomb still on the floor. Flashbang to swing around the corner. Faven is by that car position. What has happened? That should have been in Big's control.
A couple of these rounds on the T side for Sprout have been so bizarre, and this I'll count among them. Double Glock kills for Faven in this round. He's got 3, and he's in a 1v1 against Xantares for his 4th.
Oh, Xantares with a beautiful grenade, but he's resetting the situation once again. And he hasn't realized that Faven's spotted this. He'd read the rotation. Xantares went to long. He rotated towards short. Now he comes from CT spawn, but he thinks Faven is still on the side. This is going to be absolutely free. Overplayed his hands, gave Faven the opportunity to rotate. That is a massive round for Sprout. They win by wipeout, putting Big on eco.
Yeah, you win the economic advantage there. And it's so weird to think, okay, you know, maybe Searson, after he grabbed 2, could have sealed this round up and delivered it for Big if he was able to connect on one or more of those shots. But beyond that, I mean, the wild thing is it's Faven up in the faces of Big, collecting 2 Glock frags onto head armor, both situations.
Xantares had an incendiary as well for the bomb site, but maybe reading Faven would drop on the side. He didn't want to play against a headshot angle, I assume, for that rotation to come through. Now that is a smoke grenade.
Yeah, Slack's in trouble now. Doesn't sense the pressure.
Yeah, that's going to econ Big to try and find some kills here, but there is protection, as we can see. Protect the VIP. There are 3 players, including the bomb carrier. So a weird round, but a fun round. This is like a matchmaking round now.
Yeah.
Push up short, and that'll be easily dealt with. So Sprout will be probably moving to 13. And Big will have a bye once again. This is getting a little spicy now. Sprout, the momentum is back.
Yeah, the second half has been wild. And considering saw 5 straight from Sprout, 4 straight from Big, 3 straight from Sprout here. I don't even know what to say. Like, a few of these situations really are just kind of random in the way that they're playing out. Some mind games perhaps going on between the teams. Another long battle maybe. Smoke comes through. Slacks connects on a taps and a big frag from him, and he grabs the second one on a Tijan.
That was beautiful tracking from Slacks. Absolutely beautiful. It's like it's using the LG and Quake. That leaves 2 big players. DUST2 is slipping away from them. If they lose this round, they may have to play for overtime.
I appreciate your Quake reference, man.
Spiddy and T-Spawn trying to find out what might be happening. Now, if Zantares stays behind the... Oh, my God. Really? Spiddy's... Oh, Dennis is still holding this angle, though, even though his teammate was just here, which is very interesting. So, oh, he's strafing sideways, and Zantares is so close to the bomb, but no, that leaves Quito alone. 55 seconds. He needs a 1 versus 4. Holding on to the site, Sprout being very careful, and again, Speedy is the investigation man, and the bomb starts to rotate away.
Dude, good for Dennis. You know what? I really sensed that Zantares was going to somehow suss out that location, grab the frag.
I guess he has no reason not to look there based on what else is going on. So respect for the attention to detail from Sprout. Quito now wondering what may be happening here. 24 seconds, and there's still no sign of anybody. They will look to contain him. Maybe he was spotted by Farben.
Yeah, considering his team is broke, you know, you do want to keep this M4 here. But if you can get some kills along the way. Speedy says no. 14 all. Tie game now on DUST2. We're coming down to the wire, James.
Yeah, this is as thin as the wire gets, really. 14-14 and you're on eco. That's a decision to be made. Now, maybe with a spot of utility, some smoke grenades and flashes.
Look at these shots.
Oh, that first shot was beautiful. But with a bit of utility, maybe Big can put Sprout in an awkward situation. Let's start with 4 players towards the long area, Big. And this utility they've been throwing from the car, Big, has allowed Sprout to essentially take long. The molly's over from the car position. Just gives Sprout the timing to force their way through, and force their way through they will once again. Does not seem to be the strongest of holds from Big, so I do wonder what their approach will be next round.
Yeah, those weren't exactly comfortable fights from Sprout, but Faven looking so on point mechanically, able to deploy the smoke, bail himself out, and help his teammates with a few frags that are potentially blowing up their plan.
So molly for the short box, very important. Very, very important detail. You've always got to have that molly. It can be such a dangerous headshot position for a play over Desert Eagle or better, especially Zantares. But here we go, Sprout now. But 5 rounds in a row, 5 rounds on either side of the 4 we've seen from Big in this half. Find themselves at game point. The auto snipers are out for Sprout in this final round. And Big have got the scopes out, plural. The Oregon Quito will join the AWP of Searson. So 3 AWPs in the hands of Sprout. You can see Cressy playing a spawn towards long as well. He's got a gap in the smoke. Will there be flashes for this? There will be. So they've held on to long for now, Big, and I think that's a good difference for them.
What I like about the way that Big is playing this entire CT side half is so many times they've gone back to this 4 players towards long, but they're not really showing their hand. They're not. Sprout clearly has not keyed in on the fact that there's just nobody at mid through the early parts of these rounds. You know, potentially you could think about maybe exploiting that if you knew, but Big's rotations have been solid and accurate throughout, and it's just a matter of like, okay, is Sprout going to make the correct decision and walk into success on some of these situations? Seriously, creeping up here towards long doors. That's a big early kill to potentially send this into OT, James.
Oh, I'm starting to wonder if Sprout are playing not to lose rather than playing to win at this juncture. We've got a T spotted now, an exchange of grenades, but that will not be in favor of Sprout, considering putting the smoke down, but that would be a waste of utility at this point. 45 seconds as they desperately start to make a play towards the B bomb site. Is there confusion? They're going back and forth. They don't seem to know what they want to do, and they're just eating grenades now. There's going to be a pop flash through, but Tabson's not quite going to make it, but Xantares will in the meantime, and he's still alive. 5 versus 3. The dream is collapsing for Sprout as they look to breach the choke point of the B bomb site. Tabson not out of the smoke just yet in the red, but he isn't dead, and he's going to get a kill onto Slack somehow. The bomb's been dropped, and now Spiddy 1 versus 3. 17 seconds, collects the bomb, has no idea where Keto is. And that round was a disaster for Sprout.
Yeah, OT it is then. And that round, I mean, I like the reaction for Big. Okay, we're going to keep the op towards long, try and challenge long doors. And really, I mean, just start to finish, just a few blunders. Missed timing there at mid doors. A flash conking off the back of the head of the entry coming up mid. Stunting the timing, giving away that there's players there. And beyond that, I mean, multiple smokes coming out of mid B. Tabson's able to sit in there, phase the smoke himself, finds 2. And that was the first real sloppy round I think we've seen out of Sprout this half, which is unfortunate considering how weird some of those rounds went, where things just kind of went right for them. But now Big's going to have 10K. You don't have the luxury of coming back against an economically stunted team. So potentially maybe able to get the double ops out at an early juncture, maybe have some freedom, low risk op aggression to put yourself in an advantage again. And for Sprout, you know, they've been able to get catwalk control. Okay, they've fought for long control a few times, and Slacks, you know, off of a gracious spawn was able to get 1 or 2 kills occasionally. But it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do here in the opener of OT.
You have to wonder if that was the best opportunity for Sprout to win this game.
Yeah.
The story will speak for itself in the rounds to come. Yeah, that was. It looked like they didn't want to take too much of a risk, going for the spawns with the 3 AWPs at the beginning with more AKs on the floor. Didn't quite work out. Again, I feel like they had some success towards long in the previous rounds. Doesn't mean you should do the same thing every round, of course. But that was a mistake they won't want to repeat in terms of being afraid to lose as opposed to playing to win.
Right, and Big's adjustments have been pretty solid. I mean, they've understood, okay, the one way that's being deployed in Longhouse, you know, it's really, really difficult to challenge that angle. And even like peeking out to throw some grenades at it, that's a risk. And Slacks has punished you a few times throughout the second half with that play. And so they decide, okay, we're just going to throw this set smoke from basically elevator CT spawn, make sure you have no vision when we ultimately do peek out at long, and holding on to their utility till later on in the round. As soon as Sprout got catwalk control, the Molotovs got deployed at bricks. Time was being, you know, forced away from the side of Sprout, and they felt, okay, we need to make a play right now. It can't be catwalk. We have no long control. Let's just sprint out B. Does not work out, and that's a little concerning. Yeah, coming into OT, like, what are they going to do on this T side that can be successful? Is it going to be long again? It will be the decision to come out here.
Well, they forced Slacks off the angle. They've got the Molotov towards blue as well, which means Dennis is in trouble. The smoke will tell a story. Tizian's blind, but he makes his way into the pit. Look at the exchange of flashbangs here. We need more support flashes from Big's point of view in order to swing. Otherwise, they could lose the round on long. Tizian's been deleted. There are so many T's here. They've got to fall back. Xantares moving to that car position. Well, this is quite the problem for Big. Sprout have had another successful take of long. They seem to just have the solution for Big's current approach. There'll be a re-aggression, but there are so many AKs waiting for this. There's smokes as well to increase the variant. We've got elevation on Big. Has it been spotted from Xantares? On blue, rather. Well, how about that for a response? Tabson with 2, Xantares with 1. And long has been taken. That leaves 2 Sprout players. Got to be careful about spraying the smoke far, but he's got the bomb as well alone. With Spiddy in T spawn. How on earth they turn this one around? Well, that's one way to start. Father not knowing the climate around the rest of long. He's got some support grenades. The smoke to create some space. 38 seconds on the clock. Let's not forget, they still need to make it to a bomb site. A swing out in long. There'll be one for long itself, but this doesn't quite hit the mark. 27 seconds left. Citizen watching the edge of the smoke. Oh my God, the timing again!
What?
Absolutely brutal. 20 seconds now. That's the bomb spotted. Surely Molly won't go deep enough. 14 seconds, and there's essentially a crossfire here. Sisson in shotgun mode. Oh my god, they could trade him! Down to the USB, the headshot! I can't believe it. This round is utterly insane.
Oh my god, this game is wild. Possibly one of the most insane DUST2 games that I've seen in a minute, just by virtue of the way the teams are playing the map. This long battle, which has encapsulated an entire time limit in a round. You know, the decision to retake this, it's so pretty. Tabson and Searson just walking up, clearing things out, finding the kills. Even though Sprout are ready for it, they even expect it. They're playing anti-flash. They're ready for that situation to unfold, and instead, Searson just clutching it out with the USP and a 1v2 at the end, dying seconds of the round. Really want that one back if you're Sprout.
Again, we see that same combo to take long for Big. This time it's not really challenged by Sprout. The flashbang, the AWP shot. Beyond that, they're going to maybe offer something else. Looking for the short take to come from Sprout. Maybe one takes a little longer than usual, and I can see that Searson is in position on short. Tizian's been left very alone. The lack of challenge on long gives Big some confidence. They'll put players elsewhere. Not too shabby. Some damage done towards the middle doors, and Big will put a third man towards B. And now the short take comes. Speedy carrying the bomb. Molotov to force Searson away, avoiding the flashbang, but looking to stand his ground on this occasion. It won't work out for him.
Speedy has found a lot of T-side entries just off the back of his AK. But specifically onto Searson, if you're able to deal with the Opera with one pop flash and an AK shot that's just finding its mark, that's an overperformance in my eyes, at least. Speedy doing well for his team. 5v4, even Keto getting the bad end of Speedy's AK.
Well, there's a big charge towards the B bomb site now. Tizian is doing what he can to help. He's got two over the smokes, and they've almost taken out Dennis as well. Tabson now trying to use the cover as best he can. Down to the 1 versus 1. Slacks is out with the flick. Look at the confidence. 16 apiece.
What a shot. Slacks waking up in the later stages of this game as well. He's at 19 and 20. Considering throughout the first 10 rounds of this game, he maybe had 3. But a lot of these players on Sprout delivering in the later stages of this
Oh
game.
my god, what is that? It should have been even stronger round from Sprout. Tabson somehow finding 2 through the smoke. Now we move into the last round of the first half. The buy looking a lot weaker for Big. It has been a war of attrition, and it will prove costly in the third round of overtime. Speedy makes his way out, spots somebody passing in the smoke. In the meantime, there's a lot of aggression coming through these mid doors. Searson's able to fall back and go for another one, but the bomb's been dropped in the meantime. They've got to go back. Man advantage for Big. This round looking real fast at present. Big will abandon the bomb and take superior position elsewhere. A rifle glides into CT spawn, maybe an upgrade for one of these big players. We've got double FAMAS. It's an AWP for Tizian. That's not too shabby. Flashbang and a peek for long. Speedy spotted, and he falls back. In the meantime, there's a push on short. While they're being entertained on long, Big will lose position on the bomb site. Running back, scurrying back. Tabson hasn't seen them. This could be a free kill for Sprout. Is he going to check the angle properly? No. Farvan lands the headshot. There's Keita now with the Desert Eagle. Needs to stay alive for the retake, though, but he presses on towards the car, and now there are more issues for Big. 3 versus 2 for Sprout. The smoke grenade is up, and Speedy can fall back and just play the numbers. Play the trade fragging situation. They know where both big players are now. Tizian taking pot shots, looking for another smoke kill. Speedy makes his way back towards the site. All 3 players together. Tizian's the only man with a defuse kit. If he dies on the way to the A bomb site, it could be GG, and this half just from that. A headshot from Zantares. They've got to speed up, though. Speed's going to peak eventually just as he jumps up, and we got stereo frags for Sprout as they take a 1-round lead at halftime.
Wow. Nice performance there from Sprout. I say nice performance, actually. Twice now in this game, we've seen decisive reactions out of them where they're, okay, a lot of nades are coming out towards long. They've been playing 4 over here. Maybe they've keyed in on that at this point. And so they just start sprinting down mid to the doors. And, you know, they do get the trade on Searson, thankfully. But in their confusion of turning around and moving in the other direction out of long, Speedy was kind of stuck in the long doors, got hit in the back by, I think it was a flashbang from his teammate, some fumbled nades. And thankfully, the only player that was over there was, I believe it was Tizian with a deagle. But early presence from Big over here at long. Slacks is getting tested once more, and he really struggled in this first half on CT's side for Sprout.
I think we will have a molly coming his way from the barrel indeed. Stand on the barrel. A great spray from Xantares coming into this one angry. He wants revenge. Down goes Cressy on the site. This first round not looking great for Sprout. Bearing in mind now it's 10K at the beginning of the half. Sprout have to maybe consider saving at some point, because this will be an expensive round otherwise. Their odds are quite short at present. Oh, what a cover from Keto. Faven jumps up and they're still going for this Sprout. They're going to lose everything. There's been one round. Slacks has got $3,000. Spiddy will pick up the AK and leave. Well, looks like the score will be tied again.
Yep, kind of starts over there at long with Slacks getting absolutely dominated at the position, and for Sprout, you know, a lot of the narrative that, you know, maybe I was looking for to talk about when it comes to Sprout and the way that they maybe change up their CT side came very late in the half. And that isn't exactly a standard setup that we've seen out of them, but once he gets stranded over there towards that long car, you know, if you don't have anybody that's there with utility to bail you out with a smoke grenade and some flashes to help your escape. Of course, if you're facing Xantares with a full spray on an AK in mid-range, sometimes you just get clapped up, even through some car windows.
So you will soon see the situation for Sprout. I think they threw good money after bad in that round. If they lose this round, you can see Dennis and Speedy, $150 each. Farven, $250. That's going to be a serious issue for them. Keto will hold the angle too long. And Dennis gets one for free, exactly what Sprout needed.
I wonder if his op barrel was coming through the smoke there. Dennis seemed very sure that he was. Behind that smoke, finds the kill. Great start for Sprout considering. Look at Searson at mid-doors.
Here's all the sound cues as well, which gives him the confidence to just chase after them, but he goes way too far, misses the chance of Speedy, forcing their way into the B bomb site. Well, they tried to anyway. They made it there, but that was extremely costly indeed. Risks taken standing in the smoke, and Big didn't get much of anything there. And that was, again, Sprout had to win that round in that fashion. Oh, wow, he was just completely exposed, unbeknownst to him. Yeah, a completely free kill. Such opportunity for Big, but Sprout will be the ones to take it. And game point again for Sprout. They had it in normal time. They have it here.
Yeah, Sprout, we haven't really seen it much in this game because Big hasn't tested B almost at all. But the one real positive is they're very proactive in their rotations, and that was Dennis and Speedy quickly making their way over to the B side of the map through mid. And Searson keying in on that sound, that audio cue. Almost gets the backstab in that round, and instead, in round 36, 18-17, Sprout by 1. Big look to take cat control and set themselves up for that very potent A execute that we saw so many times in the first half. But a lot of the success that came from those executes was just by virtue of the fact that Slacks was very much struggling to connect. But he's woken up since then, so if he gets tested once more, I think things may turn out better for Sprout than they did in the half prior.
They're offering presence towards B, Big. There's no rotation, though, from Sprout. In fact, they will respond with questions towards the long position and sound cues towards short. They can be heard by Cressy as he makes his way through long. There'll be a flank involved here as well. Xantares lurking in the mid position, but doesn't seem to be looking anywhere close to where Cressy is. Down goes Xantares. In the meantime, Big trying to push, and this may be the last push of DUST2. 3 versus 5. Slacks delivering some grenades. Oh, Cressy's position. This is utterly ridiculous. 22 seconds, the flank's being dealt with, but there are 2 more flanks where that one came from. Lining up, it shoots between them. Searson now surely gets traded here. There's the first one trying to stay alive for the second, but he can't. Sprout have done it. They take the pick of DUST2. Big's pick. Fight straight back, and they take it to Vertigo.
GG. Hell of a map from both teams, but Sprout, I think, you know, should count themselves fortunate. That's what we love to see, Spitty.
He's pretty happy with that. That is quite the fight. So many tight rounds, narrow margins, but indeed it is Sprout who take map 2 in this domestic matchup. We're going to Vertigo. Thoughts at the desk after the break. See you back here in a few.